What's up, everybody? I want to tell you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting Anchor on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download Anchor, the app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. And I'm a veteran, so let's hear some more military cadences. What's up, family? What a night I had last night. Social media is not for the faint of heart. Please be careful. Listen, I'm not even playing. You see people happy dancing around on these apps, and for me, I have very thick skin, so most things don't bother me. I can differentiate about real and fake life. But just be careful, you guys, when you were putting your lives on these apps and talking to people, because some people are so miserable and they have nothing else better to do than troll people. I mean, it's sad. So just please be careful. Please be kind to your own self before you think you're opening yourself up to a world of people that think they're just going to try to be vulnerable with you. These people really just are bored, and like most people don't leave their houses, so they just sit around watching people's lives for pure entertainment. So just please, I really do worry about that, because I know, especially on TikTok, I see women that actually are seeking help, and if they get up on this platform, and women will just pick them apart. And I've seen women like crying, rolling around on the ground, and people just laugh at that for entertainment. So you guys got to be careful what you're displaying and portraying in your real life. Be careful with yourself. I mean, I know that we all are looking for a sense of community, but everybody's not kind, guys. I mean, even me, when I do these little hot topics, I really just try to focus on people, one, I don't really know, but two, like, I try not to participate in bullying behavior. I know that that's kind of like, it's left up to interpretation, but with the holiday season, I know that doesn't matter to some people, but just please be kind with each other. It just worries me that in a day where everybody is so judgmental, just be careful. Let's get into this news, though. So the SEC has charged 8 influencers with security fraud after they were part of a $100 million scheme to use Twitter and Discord to manipulate the price of certain stocks. So SEC is coming down on these people. A Florida pastor and his son have been arrested on charges of fraudulently obtaining more than $8 million in federal COVID relief funds and attempting to use some of the money to buy a luxury home near Disney. Wow. What a scamtastic little story. Now, see, this is a good story because these are crooks. You have to talk about crooks. But anyway, so yeah, the story on this: Florida pastor and his son were arrested Wednesday, charges of fraudulently obtaining more than $8 million in federal COVID relief funds and attempting to use the money to buy a luxury home near Walt Disney World. Evan Edwards and his son Josh, 30, were taken into custody 5 months after an NBC News report raised questions over why they hadn't been charged in an alleged scam, which federal prosecutors first identified in court papers back in 2020. It wasn't immediately clear whether the family had hired an attorney. A source familiar with the investigation said NBC News previous reporting led law enforcement to prioritize the case. The case dates back to April 2020 when Josh Edwards applied for $6 million in the PPP loan to cover his rent. And he said he had 486 employees and a monthly payroll of $2.7 million. Aslan International was ultimately approved for $8.4 million loan, but when federal investigators showed up at the ministry's office in Orlando, the door was locked and workers at the neighboring business told them nobody was ever inside. The complaint says a review of ministry website found that the donation links were inactive and sections of the text were apparently lifted from other religious sites. There were other red flags. The man who was listed on the loan application as the minister's accountant suffered from dementia and hadn't done any work for the organization since 2017. Federal prosecutors said in court papers, citing an interview with the man's son, federal agents descended on the family's home on New Smyrna Beach at 7 a.m. Wednesday. Evan Edwards was wheeled out of the house in a wheelchair. Agents escorted Josh Edwards out of the home into a law enforcement vehicle, his hands cuffed behind his back. A 6-count indictment unsealed Wednesday accuses them of making a series of false claims in their PPP loan application, including that Aslan International had 486 employees and made $2.7 million a month. Evan and Josh knew that the actual number of employees. The two men who were originally from Canada were hit with a total of 6 charges, including conspiracy to commit bank fraud, visa fraud. They were expected to appear in federal court in Orlando Wednesday afternoon. I'm glad they got arrested, said a neighbor. They requested anonymity due to the sensitivity of the case. It's a long time coming. The Edwards family did missionary work in Turkey for many years before moving to Florida in 2019. They settled in a newly built community about an hour's drive from Orlando. In September 2020, federal agents showed up to the home to execute a search warrant, but no one was there, and that place had been cleared out. Florida police officers pulled the family's Mercedes SUV later that evening. They were speeding on I-75 north of Gainesville, according to the police report. So they was on the run. Federal agents arrived on the scene and found bags of shredded documents in the vehicle, as well as suitcases full of financial records and their electronic devices stuffed into so-called Faraday bags with blocked radio frequencies to keep them from being tracked, according to civil forfeiture complaint. The family was taken into custody on an unrelated immigration charge, but released the next day when the case was dismissed. 6 months later, in 2021, a federal judge in Florida ordered the forfeiture of $8.4 million the Edwards family had received after the government claimed it was... I'm just laughing at the story because it's all kind of ate up, but it was proceeds from the bank fraud and money laundering offenses. The Edwards family did not challenge the seizure. They had tried a portion of the money to purchase $3.7 million home in Disney, but the deal never went through. The authorities seized $868,000 that was set aside for down payment on the 4,700 foot square thing. Let me see what people are saying. True Christian values. Man, I just want to start a legit business. Need $500,000. It's what Jesus Christ wanted. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. I just don't understand why they do this. The pastor of all people, he would make a great cellmate with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Really? I mean, I ain't mad at you, for real. Of course, I got to throw Black Lives Matter. The BLM, churches, charities, all the same racket as Jesus would have done, right? Own churches are good business. I think about build one fool's faith makes riches. You know what, guys? A joke. And terrible. The Virginia football players that were killed last week. One of the players was on the phone with his mother before he was killed. I just hate that story. A 44-year-old Ohio man was charged in federal court and is accused of leaving voicemails for an official with Arizona Secretary of State office. Interesting. Biden is going to Africa next year for the first time since taking office. Elon Musk has resuspended a Twitter account tracking his private jet and has threatened to pursue legal action against the creator of the account after claiming a stalker confronted a car-carrying Musk's child on Tuesday. And he did come out and say that, like, if you dox people, you will be permanently suspended. I'm not talking about Christian Cinema leaving the Democrats. Just go away, lady. What else? What else, guys? I got lots of stories tonight, so I might just get into this. Some of these stories are sad. Okay, let's get into story time. Let's get into story time. Let's get caught up on this Meg Thee Stallion trial, day 3. Yeah, Megan's former best friend Kelsey takes the stand, and unfortunately, even though I don't like this court journalist, he gives accounts. Whatever, let's get into it.
In order to testify, they would be giving testimony that incriminates themselves. She said, I will not testify because I would be giving testimony that I'm incriminating myself. That's what it means when she invoked the Fifth Amendment. Now, the government offered her immunity. They said that we will not prosecute you and use this testimony against you, so please testify. Her lawyer came back and said, well, that's not good enough. I don't want you to just not use her testimony against her. I want you to confirm to me that you will not prosecute her for any crimes arising out of this instance, out of this. Oh my God. When we walked out of that courtroom just now, every single person was shocked. Every single person was frozen. A lot of people were looking at me like, bro, tell me what is going on. Kelsey took the stand. Before she even started talking, there were fireworks. This started with Kelsey coming in and saying she is invoking her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not testify. When someone invokes the Fifth Amendment, they have a situation. The prosecutors said, yes, on the record, we will not be charging Kelsey for anything that came out of this incident. And then she testified. I'm going to go over the whole testimony in the next video, but here's the piece that we just left off at lunch. The courtroom is just, I can't even explain the tension. They asked her, at one point, did Tory ever say that I'll shoot you? And she said, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right, which suggests, they asked her, what's the context? When did he say, I'm going to shoot you? She said, I invoked the Fifth, which suggests that the context was Kelsey was doing something, perhaps Meg was also doing something that would incriminate her. That's the context. That's what I get from it. That's my opinion. Situation. The prosecutors said, yes, on the record, we will not be charging Kelsey for anything. Right, you heard the bombshell from this morning. Let me catch you up on the rest of Kelsey's testimony. They asked her, how are you feeling? She said, I don't want to be here. They asked her, what's triggering you? She said, quote, lies from Megan. She was asked, what lies? That I betrayed her, that I am a bad friend, that I took hush money. She was asked, how do you feel about the allegation that you shot Megan? She said, that's ridiculous. She was asked, how did you meet Tory Lanez? Me and Meg both met him at the same time at a Rock Nation brunch. She continued that after they met, Meg wanted to hook Tory up with Kelsey, that did happen, that Kelsey and Tory were engaged in an intimate relationship, that Kelsey got COVID, went back to Texas, and during the time she was back in Texas, having left LA, Tory and Meg started getting it up. They talked about the night of the incident. They got to Kylie Jenner's house around 3 to 4 p.m. She was a great witness, by the way. She answered everything extremely knowledgeably, extremely truthfully. I believe every word she said. Right, you heard the bombshell from this morning. Let me catch you up on the rest of She never seemed like she was trying to hide something, except when she pled the Fifth, of course. Now, she's clarified, this was not a party. Those were just people hanging out. There was maybe 5 or 6 people before Tory got there. There was a lot of alcohol. She said at one point she did pass out when she woke up. Tory was there. They were all in the pool. They were having fun. She confirmed a lot of the speculation. Tory was hooking up or trying to hook up, flirting with Kylie in the pool. Meg was very agitated, trying to leave with Tory. Tory did not want want to leave. She contradicted Meg's testimony. Meg said, oh, I don't remember ever leaving once and then coming back. Kelsey testified they all got in the car. They left without Tori as they were going. Meg is rambling, being just weird, and then says, oh, I forgot my slipper. Let's go back. They all go back to get her slipper. Then they grab Tori. Kelsey didn't go in at that point when they went back. But when they came out, Meg came out with Tori, and Meg said to Kelsey, bitch, Kylie told us it's time for us. She never seemed like she was trying to hide something, except when she said go. Tori drops the bombshell that he had been hooking up with Meg. Kelsey did not know this. The first time she learned this is in that car. That's when the argument ensues. That's when just lots of arguing is going back and forth. The prosecutor really tried to pin it down and make it look like the argument was only between Tori and Meg, and Kelsey was adamant that everybody was arguing with each other. It was a mess. She confirmed that Meg was dissing Tori's career, his skills as an artist. This stuff all crescendoed. The prosecutors asked her about, was there ever a threat made by Tori to shoot? She said yes. Prosecutor asked her, what's the context? She said, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. You can only invoke your Fifth if the testimony that you are compelled to give will incriminate you, meaning that the context around the threat, if Meg will not tell us, if Kelsey tells us, it would incriminate her. To go. Tori dropped.
So, when they asked her, to be clear, that if Tori did threaten, she pleaded the Fifth. If he did threaten to pew Meg, he pleaded the Fifth. The prosecutor, which this dude left out, that reminded her that in September 22, under oath, she did say that Tori did pew Meg, but now she's pleading the Fifth. Just FYI, because this guy, we know he's biased. Somebody said this is some Jerry Springer stuff. Dave Chappelle. I plead the Fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, Fifth. She and Tori are working together for a mistrial or an acquittal. The sound of hush money is deafening. Well, Kelsey is clearly getting paid well by Tori to go against another VW. Karma will be back after these messages. If everybody gonna plead the Fifth, ain't no witness left but the foot, huh? I'll come back later for the comments. We are not going into 2023 with this mess. Okay, I best. So, Team Megan. So, I mean, what do y'all think? I don't know. Sounds like a lot of mess. It is definitely a lot of Jerry Springer stuff. I guess we'll see what happens. But that is day 3 of the trial. Hey, So y'all know our good sis India Ari is an unproblematic queen. So she is not happy with what Brown Skin chose as a cover art for her song. She said, and you wonder why we hate Spotify. I'm on a playlist called I Love My Neo Soul, and this palm lady is a picture they put for my song, Brown Skin. I have no words. When I stood up to Spotify, nobody stood with me. When I try to accept this, it's the way that the business is. They do stuff like this. Everybody loves music, but they don't care about us as people, brown skin, because this here is a blatant slap in the face again. I've tried for 2 decades through my music to help humanity to remember love, to love Black people out loud, and to just be a force good. I was completely committed with all of my life force. How is this where we are now? And before anybody talks stuff to me, I don't care. If you've ever been in this world, your opinion means nothing to me. I literally just want to make my music. I love people and mind my business. I think 2023 calls for a new approach because no. Lastly, Spotify, this is the only platform artists really have. That's why they don't have to treat us well. I don't knock any of my peers for using the only vehicle in town. I support artists no matter what, and I support me too. And I do so much of this without a proper team. SMH, I'm tired, LOL. I'm done trying to make a change for all of us. I'm going to focus on me and my wellness. You know, times like this, I want to know, like, where are the so-called Jay-Z and Beyonce's label, what is it, Tidal? Like, why is no one helping out our good sis India Ari? Because she is an unproblematic queen. She don't bother nobody. I'm mad with her. What do y'all think?
Because it's really been on my mind lately. I have nothing against the plain Jane females. You know, and what I mean by that, like the females who doesn't go out, the female who doesn't like get their makeup done, the female who doesn't really get their hair done often. The plain Jane females, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have nothing against y'all, but why is it so hard for us pretty girls to come across a decent guy? It just seems like all the guys, the good guys, always like cuff the plain Jane females. And I feel like,
ladies, let me tell y'all something. If I had a rotten banana right in front of me, I don't care how expensive the lash extensions are that I put on it. I don't care how nice the lace front is I done put on top of it. I done laid the baby hairs down and everything, honey. I don't care how nice and beautiful the makeup look. I don't care how cinched the banana waist is. Hell, I don't even care how big the BBL is on the banana. It's still gonna be a rotten banana. And I'm not talking about a banana. Let that marinate for a little bit. Peace.
Anytime somebody says, I don't have a problem, and then starts to berate people, you got a problem. Because you bother. It shouldn't matter to you. You want to wear your lashes or somebody doesn't, it should not matter. But I like the banana analogy.
Because once they fall in love, that's when it's time to cut them clean. Because I don't know what commitment mean. I just be trying to live my life, and I can't think of much worse things than being someone's wife. Yeah, I never get my heart invested, but I'll sure put on a show. Say I'm looking for love so I can get some head, and then I go. I try to keep it casual. But that doesn't always work, and I've transformed into a nigga after years of being hurt, yeah. Submission was my first language. I used to be the softest flower. But every time I let my guard down, another took my power. Every time I tried to love them, they left me with nothing but hate. They robbed me of my softness and put some hardship on my plate. So if you see me treating men like shit, they ain't no need to reprimand me. You ain't got to agree with my moves in order for you to understand me. Just understand when you were kitten, them wolves want for you as a feast. So I unleashed my inner lion and transformed into a beast, yeah. I used to want love. Fuck it. Maybe I still do. But what's the point in giving men love when the men you love gonna hurt you too? Yes, love itself is a risk. That's something that we all know. But as soon as you start to like a nigga, that's when them red flags start to glow. And I never reaped what I sow from giving men my heart. So if I'm gonna end up hurting anyway, I might as well just play a part. I'm not sitting at home crying no more because a man won't treat me right if he play in my face in the morning. I'll have a new nigga by that night. Fuck, I thought we wasn't gonna adapt and play this game to win. Kept moving like so we started moving like men. The balance of power is all off. I know. It's a lot we all need to rethink. I'll step back into my gender role, but you...
That was a good poem. I feel my good sis. Like, I am married, but listen, it is not due to society saying I should get married. I'm married because I love my husband, but if I didn't, I would be living my life. And that is all we can do with this life. We have to stop letting society tell us how we should look and how we should love. And if people are hurting us or setting us up to be hurt, you know, I feel so bad because, like, we're so against each other these days. Like, I know we're stronger together. But nobody's putting their pride down to make that move. And it's sad because as much as the men call women masculine, they don't want to take the reins. They just want to point fingers. So where's the resolution? Where is the resolution, people? I'm sad that my black women feel this way. It makes me sad. All right, let's go to the next one. Sad news to report today. Fellow employee, Ellen DeGeneres employee, DJ Steven, Twitch boss, died today by unalivement at only 40 years old. He was a famed DJ on Ellen DeGeneres' talk show, and he is unalived, and TMZ has learned it appears to be. Law enforcement sources tell us Stephen's wife, Allison Holker, ran into LAPD Tuesday, and she was frantic because she said Stephen had left home without his car, something that was not like him at all. We're told a short time later, police got a call for a pew at an LA hotel, and they found Stephen there unalive from an apparent self-inflicted wound. Holger tells people Stephen lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and inspiration to his friends. She continues, Stephen, we love you, we miss you, and I will always say the last dance for you. He started doing the Ellen show in 2014 and was with her until her show ended in May 2022. He became executive producer on the show in 2020.
I'm supposed to be throwing to a montage right now of some of our favorite celebrity.
I always felt at home.
Love you. For him was, we just bonded over learning to dance together. Every day we walk off stage, I love you like crazy.
I'm sorry. I was not prepared. I love you, and also I love the family that we've gained. And something that I'll always remember is that you gave me a place where I can just be myself, you know what I mean? I came here to dance one time, to do a dance cross for you, you know what I mean? And now I've gained a family, you know? I've gotten married, we've had more kids on the show. And whether I was a real DJ or not, I always felt at home, you know what I'm saying? And I thank you for that, Ellen. It's unforgettable times, so I thank you, and I thank all of the crew here that we've gained as family. I love you so much.
We love you so much. You're a fake DJ, but you're a real good man. You're a real good man.
So this makes me so sad because this man had a wife, he had kids, and that's what I'm saying, like, it is the holiday season, and I know that doesn't mean a lot to most people, but we have to be kinder to each other because you just really don't know what people are going through. And I know that this app is a source of entertainment for some, but it's really people here that have real trauma. Not saying him, I wanted to use this as a bypass message because I do see a lot of like negative stuff on this app about people, and people are just human. This internet stuff is fake, but these people are real people. So I'm just saying, I'm just begging people to be kinder. Please show love. Like, we are humans. I know that the internet is a facade and people do these dances and everything's fake, but the people behind the dances and all the everything, they're real people with real problems. I'm sending you love and blessings. Please be kind and gentler with each other. Yeah, I mean, that was a sad story, guys. Please, don't go to these people with your pain. You can't trust these people, man. They'll literally use it for their entertainment, and I just don't want anybody to get caught up. Y'all stay safe out there. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow. Stay in the fight. I'm gonna pray for you guys. I do every day. Anybody that's connected to me, that is my prayer. So, and I pray that prayer every day. So please be safe. Please be careful. Officer Family is signing out.